friends. Dan Baumgartner here. Just a little midweek greeting and update. It's a beautiful, gorgeous Wednesday spring day outside. Practically feels and looks like summertime. And we are once again at our house here in Santa Rosa. And this time we're actually in the kitchen. And that would be Anne.
Hi there. Making some cookies.
What kind?
Snickerdoodles. Gonna send some around to the neighbors tonight and
Nice.
making them this afternoon.
And if we could, we would love all of you to come by for what would be undoubtedly some world-class snickerdoodles, but unfortunately,
Social distancing.
so they'll have to stay here. Hope your Easter was a good celebration. Boy, it was a different one. Certainly was for us and for me as a pastor as well. But loved a lot of the pictures that we got back in and phone calls and texts and other things and the live Zoom coffee hour after the service was a lot of fun. Fun to get pictures of the kids, fun to get shots of the art projects for Palm Sunday and Good Friday and Easter in people's windows. Just a lot of goodness going on Easter. And I'm still amazed, Cove family, how resilient and creative our congregation is. Just a lot of good ministry things, a lot of good friendship things, a lot of good worship things going on. If you have driven by the Cove campus lately, you might have noticed one of two things. One is you might have noticed some sort of heavy equipment and digging going on. We've had a water leak we've been trying to track for a few months, and they've now dug trenches and replaced pipe, and so that's still going on, hopefully getting close to being finished with that. But the other thing is, you might have noticed the big cross that we have out in the field next to the church. We have neighbors from time to time in the area who come by the church and say, hey, why does the cloth on the cross change color periodically? And it's a really great question. So if you had driven by in the last few weeks, you would have seen a purple cloth on the cross, and that was, of course, to mark Lent, and purple being the color of royalty and the sense of Jesus coming as a king, albeit a very different kind of king. And then during Holy Week, at the end of the week on Good Friday, that purple cloth was changed to black to sort of mark the day of crucifixion and the death of Jesus. And it stayed that way on Saturday as well. And then on Easter morning, the black cloth was replaced and a bright white one was put in place. The purity, the goodness, the reflection of a good God breaking through into our world. Now that white cloth will stay on that cross for the next 50 days actually, until the very end of May. And that's because we actually view Easter as a season. Which for me is very helpful. It's not just a day, it's a season. And it's helpful because resurrection is way too important of an idea for our faith to relegate to just one day or one sermon. We want to have some time to continue to reflect on that. So I was remembering a retreat that I was on a number of years ago now, down in Texas, and the speaker with this small group of people was a man named N.T. Wright, an Anglican bishop from England, the Bishop of Durham, and really a phenomenally brilliant Bible scholar. And there was a question and answer period at the end of his talk, and somebody raised their hand in the group and said, Dr. Wright, do you believe in physical healing today? And Dr. Wright looked at them, and he looked again. It was almost like he was incredulous. And he said, listen, I believe that God raised Jesus Christ from the dead. And if God can do that, God can do anything. On the Easter sermon, I think I said something like, resurrection means that we don't have to be afraid of dying, and it means we don't have to be afraid of living. And I want us as a community to keep reflecting on that in this season. And you might just, even for yourself, ask yourself, what fears do you carry about living not just existing, but about really living? What fears have shaped part of that? Or what fears do you carry about dying? And what would it look like for you to release, for us to release these fears to God? Because this Easter season is a season where we live in hope. And I don't mean hope as wishful thinking. I mean hope as an assurance of a future. Here and now, and there and later. So, Cove, one quick reminder. This is a reminder that our session, our elders have established two financial funds, because we know people within our church and without are going to hit hard economic times. If not now, then a little later maybe. And there's two funds established. The Acts 432 fund has been set up for folks who are part of the Cove community. And then there's the Deacons Fund for people that we know outside of the Cove community. And both of those can be accessed by talking to me or an elder or a deacon. And you can also contribute so that we continue to have funds to help people. That could be for electricity bills, or part of a rent payment, or some groceries, or whatever it is. So just want you to know on this Wednesday that you're loved, that we miss you, and that we pray for you and for our whole community in this unsettling time, and we watch for God together.
God bless.
Take care.
Bye-bye.